Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I feel like I've said this is my favorite makeup look that I've done, so that is good because I think this is the favorite makeup look that I have done so far. The products that I picked up from Ulta to create this look just outdid themselves. I love the way the eyeshadow came out. So it's the ColourPop, that's taupe. So if you guys want to see how I created this eyeshadow look and you have this palette or something similar to it, you could definitely recreate this look. I'm going to show you guys the REM Beauty concealer and a few more things from Ulta. So if you guys would like to see how I created this makeup look, I think it's like a perfect fall glam. So this fall makeup look, then just keep watching. All right, I'm excited to play with some makeup today, try out the products from Ulta. I do have a couple products that I bought here a few weeks ago, but you can purchase them at Ulta. So I'll just be like, this is an Ulta makeup haul. Everything's from Ulta because finding a title for videos is not the easiest thing. Sometimes that's what gets you. That's what gets you to watch a video is the title and the thumbnail. And sometimes the videos aren't that good or whatever. It's funny. The videos of mine that take off and do well, it's they have to be really obvious direct messages, like my do's and don'ts. Is it a don't? You can do it. A lot of people liked the don't version of my eye. For me personally, I didn't. In person, it's a hot mess. On camera, everything looks a little bit cleaner. It looks a little bit lighter and brighter. So it just made my eye, I guess, stand out more. But is it a don't? I don't know. You just have to say it so that people will click on your video. You know what I mean? Instead of being like, this is how I like to do my makeup, but you could try this way too. It just has to be a direct message that'll catch people's attention. So this is an Ulta haul. That's what we'll call it. All right, let's get into the makeup. So I did my brows already. I put on some sunscreen and my CoverGirl Prime Mist. So I think I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter first. I'm gonna put a little bit of this on and mix it with the Bounce Skin Tint. I really love that combo. This gives you just that extra glow underneath without any heavy coverage, no real emphasis on any texture or pores or maturing skin. So this is a nice dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. A little bit more glowy. I do prefer the Charlotte, but I really like this as well. So put that on first. For the e.l.f. Halo filter, I have the shade for medium, and for the Bounce Skin Tint, I have the shade medium too. So you can go a little darker in the Halo filter if they don't have your perfect shade, just because it is so light. It doesn't really matter. Just blends right in, just gives you actually a little bit of extra bronzing to the skin if it's a little bit darker. These three products together is the ultimate glowy skin without feeling heavy and you have a lot of makeup on. Gives you that ultimate just summertime. All right, let's go in with the REM Beauty Sweetener Concealer. I have not tried this yet. I just swatched it in a previous video, so I'm really excited to try it. I got it in the shade Light 5N. I could have went to the 6N. I think that would have been better, but they didn't have it. So it is what it is. So it's infused with our REM Hydra Smooth Essence. The creamy formula conceals to soft focus perfection. It does come with this little, like, whatchamacallit, little spatula, I guess. Little scoop. I don't know. But I don't really want to use that. I'm just going to dip my brush in over top. And I think that'll give me a lighter coverage because it is a little bit light. But when I swatched it on my hand, it did kind of oxidize a little bit darker. So let's give that a try. In person, like on camera, it's looking a little bit lighter. In person, it's looking really good. It's looking really hydrating to the skin. Sometimes I find that like the cream concealers are a little bit better. I enjoy them a little bit better for a mature under eye just because if they're a hydrating formula, they don't have to like dry down too much like the liquid. That's really pretty. It's like keeping the glow underneath as well. It's buildable, which is nice. That's what we like. We like a buildable product so it doesn't feel too heavy. I'm loving it. I don't want to put any powder over top. I don't want to ruin what I just have right now. So pretty. So pretty. Gorgeous. It does. It does oxidize darker and just melt into the skin. Like, I am in love with the way this looks right now. So much better than the Becca Under Eye Brightening Concealer. Like, it just doesn't get too heavy on any of my texture in my inner corner. That can happen sometimes. As much as I love like certain concealers, sometimes they can get a little bit heavy and crusty looking up in this inner corner, and this is not happening. And I dragged it down around here and it just blended out so smoothly. So pretty. I don't know how it would be if you scooped it out with that little spatula thing and like globbed it on, but I don't want to wreck a good thing right now. And putting it on by just using a brush. So I just used some of the NYX Wonder Stick to do my contour. I had to go outside and fix my fence because the wind is so bad. It was like blowing our gate over, so I had to go like prop it up with some wood. All right, now I'm gonna put on some bronzer. So I'm gonna use the bronzer I have been loving lately and using all the time. It is the Hard Candy Instant Summer. This is just a nice matte bronzer. Blends into the skin really nicely. Love the like golden reddish undertone it has to give me a really sun-kissed look. So this just pairs nicely with any cool contour color contour bronzers if you want to use the cooler shade as your contour first and then go over this just to kind of blend it through and give you that really tanned summer look. So I just used whatever was left over on my concealer brush just to give a little bit of a base for the eyeshadow. So I'm going to go in with ColourPop That's Taupe palette. I have never tried anything from ColourPop, so I'm really excited to try it out. When I was swatching these, they felt really, really buttery and smooth on the skin, so excited to create a look with this palette. So I'm just gonna start off with a nice fluffy dome brush and work that in the crease first. And I think the most, the shade that has the most warmth is Pebble Beach, so I'm going to use that first just to kind of build up a little bit of color. This will be nice to blend in with the cooler tones. I like when cool tone palettes have some of these warmer transition colors just to blend through. I'm going to blend that down the nose a little bit. That is blending out really nicely. Perfect neutral tone for my lids. Now I want to go in with this cooler taupe color, Python. It's kind of got like a bit of a purplish undertone to it, and I'm just going to blend that more into the crease and not go as high up on my brow bone with it. I find that's when colors just start to look a little bit muddy and patchy, like the cooler tones, when you're blending them higher up on to the brow bone. It's nice just to have your neutral tones there. And I love that combination of just a nice warm neutral and a cooler neutral with it, a cooler taupe color. So I'm just kind of riding along my brow bone there. That is blending through really pretty. So I'm going to use this flat, kind of fluffier brush to go in with the dark tone. I don't want to use something too dense right now. I don't want to pick up that much of the product, and I just want to keep it on the outer corner, and I just kind of want to blend it through and have it smoke out a bit. And sometimes when you're using, when you're using a denser brush, you're picking up more pigment. You're placing it exactly where you want it, but you are getting a lot more pigment, and I just want this outer corner to look a lot more blended out. So find a smaller brush that is fluffier. The bristles aren't as dense, and then you can get a more blended out look with the darker colors. I'm really kind of just poking in where my eye kind of dips in, because there I'll find that I'll be left with kind of like a white spot. It's hard to kind of get in those crevices, so I really like to kind of poke the brush in there, get some pigment in that outer corner. All right, now I'm going to go in again with Pebble Beach and just blend that over top for just a little bit more pigment. Blend these colors through a little bit more. Blending is the key, and blending is your friend to get just like seamless looking makeup, whether it is your blush, concealer, bronzer, eyeshadow. Just blend, blend, blend. Now I'm going to go in with Snake Eye, which is a little bit of a rose gold, I'd say. It's got some purplish hues to it as well, and I'm just going to place that over the lid. And this is actually pretty pigmented for just using a brush. A lot of times I'll end up using my finger to get more pigment, but this is giving me a sufficient amount of product just using the brush, which I'm digging because I want it to be more precise. I like using this angular brush for foiled colors to kind of just place it where I want it. Loving the way that looks. I'm just going to flip the brush to the other side, and I'm going to go in with Slated, which is an even brighter, lighter foiled color, and I'm just going to place that in the middle of my eye. Just get a lot of the light focusing right in the middle of my lid. So I'm going to go in with an angled brush and Bedrock, this deep brown matte shade. And I'm going to give my eye a little bit of a winged eyeshadow look on the outer corner. And I'm just taking out this corner, and it's just giving me that elongated look with the eye. So you can see this is looking more round. And now that we've just added that little depth of color, the eye is looking more elongated and cat eye-like, fox eye, whatever you want to call it, siren eye. I'm just going to go straight out the eyeshadow. And just pat it with your finger. I want it to look soft. I don't want a harsh line. So I'm just going to kind of pat it with my finger. Once I use some of the neutral tones underneath, it'll soften up that wing as well. I'm taking my favorite little square brush from the Naked Honey palette. I think this is the best thing that came out of that Honey palette was this brush. I love it. I use it all the time. So again, I'm going to go in. Actually, you know what? I'm going to try Boa. I'm going to try this lighter taupe shade underneath the eye. It's not going to give me a whole lot of pigment, but it's a little bit of something, and you can go a little lower with it too, and that'll give you more of a smoked out cat eye look. Like it's just kind of cleaning up the eye. Oh, and it's adding like a different look to the eye. Like it's matte. That's kind of cool. Look how we're getting this kind of lifted effect from one side to the other. It's gonna take the concealer brush and just blend it through a bit. But I like that lifted effect that we just created with this boa shade. Kind of obsessed with this little palette. Like I didn't know what to expect, but I'm very much vibing this palette. So I forgot about this. So we're gonna go in with the Lash Princess liner. I really wanted to try this out when I saw that Essence released this liner and it had a nice thick bottom. I was like, I feel like that's gonna give me more precision. So let's try to go in and see. Yeah, like I just feel like you have so much more precision holding this thicker base than you do a little base. I'm just gonna keep it really towards the lash line. But that is like good. That's like a nice, precise line, and just the grip that you have using this thick liner is like so good. Even the inner corner, we're getting a nice, precise line. All right, lastly, I have this lip liner from e.l.f. and I was drawn to it because it was in the shade light brown. So I was thinking maybe because it has brown in it, I can just do a one and done lip liner. This will be cool enough on my skin tone that it won't feel really orangey. I always have to double up my lip liners. I start off with my very neutral, cool toned, wherever it may be. I don't see it right now. Taupe eyebrow pencil because it just gives me a nice lip contour. It's like a natural kind of shadow toned instead of just lip liner, because I find that you could just see that on my lips when I overline it and it just looks like a warm orange line. So let's try this one out. It's in a triangular shape, Love Triangle Lip Filler Liner. So let's see if this is, okay, first of all, I like the point because you're getting more precise. Yeah, it's not brown enough. It looks like every other lip liner. Like if I want to overline, Like you just see that it's orangey. So let me show you side by side of like using the taupe pencil. Like it's just muted, it's more natural. Yeah, have not found a lip liner yet that I can just use on its own. Like, look at the difference. It's what I've been doing for the past like 20 years. There. Perfect. That's a great tone now, but I was hoping it could be a one and done. I think I said lastly for the lip liner, and it wasn't lastly because I forgot about the Juvia's Place. How could I forget? Lipstick in the shade Libra. It's a velvety matte lipstick. When I swatched this on my hand, it felt really creamy, but like had that matte look without feeling too dry on my hands. So I was drawn to this because my bestie's a Libra and I love a peach nude. So let's see how this looks with the combination of lip liner that I just used. And again, this has a nice triangular shape to it. That is giving me 90s vibes all the way. That's so good. I love it with the shade of my hair. Yes, such a good peach nude. And it does not feel drying on the lips at all. All right, this is the final look. I finally got this look all completed between leaving my room to go do things and phone calls and texts. I feel like I've been trying to finish this video for over an hour, maybe more, but this is the final look. I love the way it turned out. It feels like the perfect like fall glam for me. Like I adore the way this came out, and I think it's just because of my hair having a different shade. Like it just feels very fall. Definitely going to be rocking this look. All of this makeup, in love with. In love with, so in love. I am like actually so in love with this little palette. I didn't think that I would like it as much as I did, but the colors and the product itself is so good, blends beautifully. I will have to recreate another eyeshadow look with that for sure. And what else did I, oh, the concealer. The concealer is so good. Like, didn't have any expectations going into it, but it's like my perfect concealer. It's like my perfect concealer. Love it. Love everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know if you've tried any of these products and what you think of them, and if you want to try the eye look out. If you have this palette, it's an older palette. I feel like a lot of people have it, so let me know if like you tried this eyeshadow look with the palette. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys again soon.